Alright guys, welcome back. There's a fair few new faces here for this season because I felt we needed to freshen up because we just got the job done. I know Western Suburbs are pretty good, but we beat a team at the Club World Cup, so we need to improve a lot, okay? So we're going back to the New Zealand tactic. We might make changes, but we'll make them from there, back from the base, just going with more positive approach instead of being quite so attacking. And also, Champions League, let's just make sure we just put out some good performances here. We'll make adjustments when necessary, and then let's just see what we need to do in the knockouts and when we're going to be taking on Western Suburbs, okay? I want a big improvement this year because we were pretty scratchy into last year. Let's get the job done in Champions League to start things off.
Party in the streets and the city's on fire.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 141 of the New Zealand Builder Nation here on Shaun Does FM with both the All Whites and Cashmere Technical. I hope you're doing well, and coming up today we start off 2038, which is a World Cup year with the IFC Champions League with Cashmere Tech. Can we win it? Yet again, if you're looking forward to that, as well as some transfers, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But yesterday we played the National League Grand Final against Western Suburbs. You can see the result there, top right corner, the first one on the fixture list, but if you missed it, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner. Did take extra time, it did pick up a 3-2 win, which did mean we won it for the 9th season in a row here as a manager. But off the back of that, we did have the retirement of Thiago Almada, and also we had some transfer money that we could use as well as a bit spare in the wage budgets we have. Signed a few new players here at Cashmere Tech, and most of them, I say most, all of them, did come in time to be registered for this season's Champions League. So let's go over and have a look at what's happened on the transfer history. You can see there, we actually got a left back who might join the club. He won't be available for the Champions League, but would be first choice, a little bit better than Asana Diop and Arau Valela Salso, a Brazilian. Who doesn't love a Brazilian? So hopefully he might join us here, the former ASA man. 100 caps, not many goals, but he's a left back. Didn't want too big a wage, would be the best left back at the club. So I thought let's have a go at him, but that's the only player who he might sign who won't be available for the Champions League. The rest have all come in and will be available for the Champions League this season. So here are the players that we have bought in. We'll just sort this on date because a few of these did tick over from late last season, starting off there with Santiago Baez, a promising right back from Argentina. And we started off with Jackson leaving us, as well, of course, as the retirement of Thiago Almada, which doesn't pop up on here, but obviously that was a loss for us. But to be fair, we only brought him in for the Club World Cup last year. It does mean that Lorenzo Janssen comes back in as the first choice central attacking midfielder. But Jackson, he left the club. He was now under 20s. Not the greatest amount of potential, so nothing to write home about there. The big sale that we did make, though, was Andre Salgado. In the last year of his contract, is still below Walid Khaled on the pecking order here at Cashmere Tech, but he's gone over to the Marconi Stallions, so a bit of a shame we couldn't let him go to a fellow New Zealand club. But last year of contract, didn't want an extension, thought we'd get rid of him while we had the chance. So he's gone off there. Marconi already 1 goal in 4 games for the club, and to be fair, at 26 years old, so a fair while to go before he would qualify for the All Whites. So in terms of his age, probably not someone that would have been right there for the picking All Whites wise by the time that he did qualify, but obviously so crucial for us last season, especially while Khaled was out with injury. You can see those stats. He had a very, very good season, actually highest average rating at the club. That's even better than what Thiago Almada put up, but with that contract situation, thought we'd get some money for him while we could. So that's the sale that we did make. It did add £18,000 to our transfer budget, and also there's a 40% of next sale clause in that one, so it could be a future payday for us here at Cashmere Tech. So those are 2 players who have departed, and we've added quite a few, starting off with Pavlos Akimastos. We might just call this guy PA. He's Greek-Australian, a left back who has represented Greece, and he is now second choice here currently at Cashmere Tech, in behind Asana Diop until the Brazilian does arrive. But 26 years old, I'd like to think if we can keep him around long enough, he might actually be a decent option for the All Whites. Add some extra depth there to left back, which, to be fair, we are now getting on an age with our current choices when everyone is fit in both Adam White and Cody Phoenix. And of course, Jack Honey is third choice, and that's a bit of a concern. This guy's a lot better than Jack Honey, so that's the reason that we have brought him in, a local player, seeing as he is part Australian. So hopefully he'll do a decent job when called upon, which will definitely be as the backup for this upcoming Champions League campaign. As well as that, we've added an extra central attacking midfielder. Obviously, we needed one with the departure of Thiago Almada. The option was either to bring a Max Caputo back up from the B team, but we don't trust him. He's a traitor, the filthy snake. So instead, we've signed a former Melbourne City man in Nathan Wilsner, 2-star current ability and 4-star potential. Here is attributes in the role we're going to use him in. They're not the best, but they're better than Max Caputo, so that's the reason that we have signed him a couple of foreigners who were almost better than him, but not by an amount that I felt like we should sign them over a local player. So Nathan Wilsner does come in as that backup in behind Lorenzo Janssen, certainly is a lot younger at 25 years old. Also coming in, we've got Mazinho, who is the replacement for Andre Salcedo. He's a right winger who's a Brazilian. It just makes perfect sense. Can also cover striker and central attacking midfielder. Pretty good attributes for what we want to do as an inside forward. Just those long shots, vision and work rate that aren't too great. To be fair, we've probably picked the worst role for him with those weaknesses in his attributes, but physically he does look very tasty indeed. So hopefully the former Flamingo man can do a decent job for us as the backup to Walid Khalid, especially still with 4.5-star potential at 23 years old. And also we have brought in Fernando Osorio, who's a bit of an improvement on someone like De Hockman de Villiers as a backup to Chris Greenidge. Of course, with no Thiago Almada, that did open up an extra foreign spot, so I thought we could use it if there's an injury to Chris Greenidge. Osorio would step up as the backup Chilean 22-year-old, and he also looks pretty tasty as that winger on attack with 3.5-star potential and current ability, not too many weaknesses as compared to Mazinho, and also does look pretty good physically, but probably a little bit better in terms of his technicals as well. But he is another good addition as a foreigner, but he will be mainly out on the left-hand side. The other two players that we have signed, beefy one I forgot about because we did it last season, Pedro Alvarado. He is not going to be used too much this season. I thought he'd be better. He's down in the B team, the former Sport Boys man, so we'll just ignore him. The other signing that we did make, to be fair, also in the B team, this is Jack Smith, who last season was at the Dunedin City Royals, aka Caversham. He's a left back from New Zealand, can also play centre back, but not that tall. Not that great current ability wise, but potential is actually quite high. Could end up being a bit better than Jack Honey. So we'll see what we do with him. I'm kind of hopeful another New Zealand club might try and pinch him off us, but no one wanted him, so I thought we'd just pick him up so he could train with our guys for the meantime. But certainly a high potential player who was doing well here at Dunedin for some reason decided to leave even though no one wanted him. So we've picked him up, so hopefully he can develop that little bit more. So those are the players that we have brought in. So what that does for our first team going into this new season, we have, of course, got Janssen back in central attacking midfield, and that is about it. Not too much change. Khalid at right wing, as was the case for that National League final, and also Hosafa at centre back. There's a reason for that over RC1, as we said last season, a better ball playing defender, and we will need that because we've gone back to our New Zealand Gegenpress, because that more attacking one we used last season was a little bit dicey. We're going to try and work with this season. Our usual New Zealand tactic, it's got us up to near the top 30 of those world rankings. It should do a job with a team who should be this much superior to everyone else in Oceania, as you'll see shortly. The season preview, this is from last season, still, we should be bossing all the teams here in New Zealand, which also means in Oceania. So hopefully we'll go back to basics here, go back to a positive mentality, and just see during the course of the group stage of the Champions League what might need tweaking, and hopefully be ready to go for that big game in the Champions League this season whenever we do take on Western Suburbs. Hosafa comes in because Cifuentes, he turned 20 late last year. Hosafa, he turned 20 on the 25th of January, which I think means he'll still count as an under-20 player for the season, alongside Harrison Debenham, who's a very similar case. He turned 20 only a couple of weeks earlier, so I think those two will still count as under 20 players for this season. If that's not the case, going to need to do some shopping before the National League season does start, but I don't think there's too many good players out there under 20, apart from the ones, of course, that have come for our youth intake of late. But to be fair, they're more future prospects. Ideally, wouldn't be replacing any of these guys currently in our first team, but that first choice 11, very solid compared to what it was here last season. But the bench is where things do change. Got the likes there of PA, we've got Bayes, we've got Wilsoner, we've got Osorio, and we've got Mazzinho coming in for those players who have departed the club. So I think most of the changes do come in our rotation team, but it should mean that we're still going to be quite hard to beat, especially if this New Zealand version of the Gegenpress does pay off like it did late stages of that National League final that we did play in yesterday's episode. But we're about to take part in the group stages of the Champions League this season. We have ended up in Group B because, of course, we're usually in the front half of the draw. That is the case again this season. We're drawn alongside Tafia, who were pretty rubbish last year, but a couple of years ago, it was a fair while ago now to be fair, they did beat Auckland City in a group stage game, so hopefully they won't pull that on us in this year's competition. They've already picked up a win 2-1 over the Central Coast from the Solomon Islands. The other team in our group are Nauru from Fiji. That is who we are about to take on, one-star reputation club. Hopefully going to deal with them, but they are predicted to be the best team over there in Fiji. So that's our group. We should be topping it, as is always the case. Group A, AS Olympic Mahina from Tahiti, Tiga Sport from New Caledonia, Talasea FC from PNG, and Tapugia Meri from Vanuatu. That group plays about the same time that we go through Group B. Group C, AS Dragon from Tahiti, Labasa from Fiji, to Papamalanga from the Cook Islands, and our big threats in Western Suburbs from the Central League. Definitely going to be seeing when we take those guys on later on in today's episode, as long as they top their group, don't join Auckland City from a couple of years ago, and we might have to play them in the quarterfinals if that's the case. And AS Magenta, the top-seeded team in Group D, and also in there is Vaivase Tai from Samoa, Waniagu from the Solomon Islands, and West Tribe FC from Papua New Guinea. So that is the season's Champions League. We're in Group B. Hopefully going to start off here with a win with our first team against Nauru. We've only had the one friendly before this being in one of the first two groups, but hopefully we'll blow the cobwebs out here and then run over the other teams off the back of this game. Nauru, as with all the teams in this group, teams that we should be beating very comfortably as long as our tactic does work. It hasn't been tired out or anything like I was thinking was the case before we changed things to going more attacking last season. But that didn't really work either, so we're going to pull things back, and hopefully that might help us out a little bit. If it doesn't, going to maybe make some adjustments during the course of the two games off the back of this one. But hopefully we're going to start off here with a comfy win, all these games being played at my arena, so no bus trip needed. Hopefully going to start off this season with a very impressive win as we take on Nauru from Fiji. And here are the team sheets for this first game of our Champions League here in 2038. First up, Nauru, going with a completely different formation than my assistant said. I think they were supposed to go there with a 5-3-1-2, if that even makes sense. I think that's too many players, but it was very defensive instead. They're going with a 4-3-3. We'll get our best 11 out there for this new season for our first game of it. Hopefully, nice comfy win to show you why we should be topping this group. And it's taken 10 minutes, but we get the first highlight of this game, albeit it is in favour of the Fijians here at my arena. I think this is actually the first game as well, and the group stage is being played at my arena in a Champions League. It doesn't take too long for us there to win the ball. Nice ball there from Evans for Caleb, but unfortunately kicks that one straight into Mustabiba, I think that is, in goal for Nauru. A decent save, but to be fair, didn't have too much work to do. Let's see what Greenwich can do from this set piece. Someone there gets in the way of that one. I think it might have been Prakath. So another corner for us here. Hopefully Greenwich this time can find the header of a fellow Cashmere Tech lad. Of course, no Almeida this season, so our set pieces might be just a little bit weaker, but nothing doing from that opening highlight. Still 0-0. And going forward a few minutes off those opening couple of chances that we did have, we try and make our way here out from back down our left-hand side, albeit not for too long. Greenwich sprays that one out. Ryan Debenham actually finds himself in a fair bit of space. What can he do these days in all white? That ball a bit too deep. Apparently Zoomers can tidy things up. Squares that one nicely for Sam Clark. Had a few bodies in his way, but that probably has helped him out there with the Navua goalkeeper, and Sam Clark picks up our first goal of the new season, although it's technically still last season in FM, but he scored our goal of the season last year. He starts off with the first goal in this year's Champions League, and we take a 1-0 lead at the 20-minute mark. And about 5 minutes on from that opening goal, now is a corner here in our favour. Again, going short, and that one doesn't quite find the mark, but Greenidge will get this back, plays that one there for Khalid. That shot takes a big deflection. Hopefully that's not the highlight and it doesn't end up being a big waste of time. But Diop will put that one far post, and thankfully it will not be a waste of time because Zoomers this time gets it on target and will beat their goalkeeper to make it 2-0. Ezra Zoomers grabs a goal nice and early in 20:38. Diop there got that ball back there, just does his man down our left-hand side, and that one finds Zoomers across the face of goal. That beats the Navua goalkeeper, a quick fire double to make it 2-0. And a little bit surprisingly, that looks like it might be all the highlights in the first half of definitely on the front foot, as you can tell there from the stats, but only 2 goals, which is a bit disappointing. Only 3 shots on target, we've scored 2 of them, so not doing too badly, but I did think that maybe with those stats, and especially that position of 74%, might be scoring a few more goals here in this first game of the season, but maybe some of these guys are still getting their fitness up with only the 1 pre-season friendly. We'll take off the guys on some average ranks. So Debenham on 6.5. Let's bring on Santiago Baez for his first start in a Cashmere Tech senior shirt. And also Walid Khalid at right wing, only going fairly. Nazinho can come on for him for a Brazilian flair here in the second half as we hold a 2-0 lead. And whatever I said at halftime might have worked, because a very early highlight here in the second half, a free kick. We find Anderson, the goalkeeper comes out to get it, makes an absolute tit of himself, and that makes it 3-0. That's an absolute gift there, and that is the goal that should put this game to bed. Hopefully now can put the foot down a bit more and score a few more goals in the remaining 45 minutes, but that is a very easy one. Thanks to the goalkeeper Anderson, gets on the score sheet, and we're 3 goals in front. Now, a couple of minutes on from that goal to start off the second half. Now, as a highlight for us here, a throw right on the halfway line. Sam Clark plays that one back there to Tim Anderson. Just takes his time on the ball before playing that one back to Hosafa. Should be quite comfortable this year as a ball-playing defender, especially, of course, if he's one of only a few under-20 options in the squad. Baez squares that one, comes off a defender, and then comes off the woodwork. So a decent chance for us there, but not quite on target, and it is still 3-0. Now we, though, go down the other end here, and on the attack there, we're Nava, but thankfully Hosafa can cut that one out. We play it out there to Janssen, who will pick out Evans, our usual captain. We'll get more game time this year, of course, with Almada not being at the club. Greenidge will put that one away, but he's about half the pitch offside. That one won't count. Still 3-0 Cashmere. And just about to make our way into the last 20 minutes of this game, so I think it's a good time for us here to make our remaining 3 subs in this one. Take off the players who aren't quite on green ratings. We've got 2 there in attacking midfield. Chris Greenidge, Fernando Azorio will come on for him. Also Janssen, Nathan Wilsner can come on for him. And we've got 1 more sub left that we can make, so I think we might bring on here for a debut PA, the Greek-Australian, for Asana Diop. That'll be all our subs used. Still only 3-0 in front. And the a few minutes off back of those couple of subs that we did make to use up the rest of ours. A free kick here in PA. That's not a very good one to start his Cashmere career. Gives the ball straight there to Nava, and now they actually get a chance here down the left-hand side. Rakula starts to make his way forward. Let's see what he can do here for the Fijians. Thankfully, it's a poor ball. Hosafa can clear that one. Prakash there plays it over to Riri, and now they're forced there to go back to the centre-backs, albeit not for too long. Singh plays that one back there to Rodu, ball over the top. It finds Prasad, but thankfully that header drained the path for Sifuentes. So far this highlight, not up too much at all. Hosafa now on the ball, good pass out there, and Baez can start to make his way forward down this right-hand side. Tries to play a pass in field. It's an absolute shocker, no one near it. So Nava with a chance here on the counter-attack. Rakula back on the ball down that left-hand side, puts that one far post. Thankfully PA can clear it. Singh to another. Singh tries to put that one in the back of the net, and he will. Felipe Singh with a really good strike. To be fair, some of our new players that were brought on there at wing back not doing a great job. Baez with the pass in field, and that clearance from PA not too good as well as the free kick earlier from that highlight, but still it's a pretty good strike. Navua will grab a goal, and we're only in front by 2 goals now. And about to make our way into the last 5 minutes of this game. It's still 3-1 here at corner for Nava. They put that far post, and Rodu gets up there and puts it away past Sifuentes. We're kind of fading away late in this game. I did just go attacking before that highlight. We'll stop that now, go back to positive because that didn't work. But this is not the performance I was hoping for. First up, going back to the New Zealand Gegenpress. Couple of late goals have conceded to be for the first one. Bit of a screamer, but that one not too good set piece defending. Thankfully, looks like no highlights before full time, albeit I say that. Now's a throw for us here inside the final third. Can we grab a cushion goal? No, we can't. Osorio puts that one high and wide. But 3-2, not the result I was hoping for. We definitely were in quite good control of that game. 3-0 up just after half time. But off the back of that, that got very average. Late on, conceded 2 goals. Maybe that's still some new players learning what we're about here at Cashmere Tech. But maybe some adjustments needed to this tactic without going too attacking like what we did last season, which almost come unstuck in those games that we did play, like the National League final against Western Suburbs, just getting that one to go to extra time. But to win to start off the Champions League, not too convincing. Next up, Tafia. We'll see how that one goes if we show guys some highlights from it. But hopefully I can go forward, figure some stuff out, and top this group. We have a look at who we're going to take on in the quarters and the semis. So not the best performance from us first up there in the Champions League, but thankfully the next two were a lot better, as you can see on screen. 5-0 win over Tafia. So thankfully got acting gear for this game. We did just make one change, went to a high defensive line, but kept the rest as was, and it did seem to help here. A comfy win, early goals there to Anderson and Johnson. Just before halftime, Zumas and Osorio with a double in the second half. The only negative here was that Chris Greenidge did pick up an early injury, and I'm pretty sure it was a broken leg from memory, so he's out for a wee while. It was actually a fractured leg, but still, he's out for 5 weeks to 2 months. That does mean our first choice left winger is out for a little while. That'll also keep him out of the next window with the All Whites if Jacob Hall-Jones is not back. So that's the downside from that win, but it was a lot more convincing with that high defensive line there. A 5-0 win over Tafia, a late red card, but by that stage, we were already 4-0 in front. Off the back of that, we played our last game in the Champions League, put out a full rotation for this one. Not quite as impressive, kind of similar to that Nauvoo game, but this time can understand with the players that we did give a run. A 3-1 win, Castro with a first half goal, and also Tuna got a double before we got outscored 1-0 in the second half. But it does mean we went for our group with a perfect record. The goal differential, though, not quite as good as it usually is. That's a little bit concerning, but we go through, as do Tafia. They picked up wins in the 2 games, apart from that 5-0 thrashing that we did give them. So that's what's happened in Group B. Going over to Group A, Tiga Sport and Tapuja Mary, they do go through from that group, which to be fair was quite a tight race between the top 3 teams. Talasia ending up being the whipping boys in that one. And a week later, we had Group C and D. As you'd expect, Western Suburbs did top that group, but also, despite being unbeaten, their goal differential not too impressive. So kind of similar performance there from both us and them. In the Champions League, Babasa, they went through in pretty similar fashion to Tafia. From our group in Group D, Waniago with a perfect record. And to be fair, that's the best goal differential I've seen so far there from the Solomon Island team. And AS Magenta, they go through in seconds. Those are results from the group stages of the Champions League. A quick look at what we've done to our tactic in those games off the back of that 3-2 scratchy performance against Nauvoo. As I said, we are now playing with a higher defensive line. No changes to the player roles, but in terms of in possession, we are now playing with just a slightly lower tempo than we were before. Does seem to be helping a little bit, especially in that Tafia game. So we'll see if that might help us create some better chances. We can maybe score a few more goals and beat teams a little bit more comfortably. But now it does mean we can get stuck in to the draw for the quarters and the semis of this season's Champions League. The earliest we can take on Western Suburbs should be the semi-finals. I'd quite like that, as you know. Prefer a New Zealand team over 2 legs instead of one, but for drama, a one-off game is probably a bit more exciting. We start off with ourselves, and we will get to Tapuja Mary, who I'm pretty sure finished second in Group A. So that's definitely a team we should be accounting for in the quarters. Just going forward a bit more, Waniagu, they take on the Bas. Western Suburbs, they get Magenta, and Tiga Sport, they will play Tafia. So based on that, we could maybe take on Tiga or Tafia in the semis, but that's not usually how it works in the Champions League. Let's just see now who we're going to get in the semis. First up, Waniaga or the Barca, they will take on us or Tapujia Miri. So it might be a one-off game between the New Zealand teams in the Champions League final this season. That could be very tasty indeed, as long as Western Suburbs get past both Magenta in their quarter and one of Tigasport or Tafia in the semi-final. So that's our path to the final this year. We should be making it that far, but it could be a big one-off game coming up if we want to win yet another Champions League here at Cashmere Tech. Probably going to have to beat Western Suburbs, which might be tight yet again, like that National League final was in yesterday's episode. But that will do it for today's episode, making our way through the group stages of the Champions League and also running through some transfers that we did do. Also worth noting that Brazilian left back has joined us here at the club. He's pretty good, but of course is unregistered for the competition there in Alau Falila Sousa. But if you enjoyed today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. I think we'll come back at the start of next week, and it might be for an international window with the All Whites. I'm pretty sure it might be our last one before the World Cup, but before that quarterfinal, we've got Australia and Japan. That could be an interesting double game episode to bring you guys. Unfortunately, Justin Keats injured himself yet again, so still going to be a little bit weak at right wing. He's very injury prone at the moment. That could be a problem before the World Cup. Hopefully he'll recover just in time. Both him and Greenwich definitely out for that window, but we're going to play for the Soccer Ashes and also take on Japan, 2 teams inside the top 30, but we've beaten them before. Hopefully that will be the case yet again. So until the start of next week for some All Whites action, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.